You should have saw the one in America in Nemo. That was massive.
It was big, wasn't it?
It was bigger than that. It was bigger than that, wasn't it?
It was bigger than that.
That weren't Busch Gardens, that was Epcot.
Yeah, Epcot, you're right, yeah, sorry.
Hello and good afternoon to welcome to the National Marine Aquarium. This is our coral seas tank. This is the second largest tank in the aquarium. The temperature of the water is about 24-26 degrees, so it's quite nice and warm. And we have lots of wonderful coloured fish in there. So let's start and tell you some of the things that we have about this tank. Right, now, start with the coral. The coral in this tank isn't real. It does take quite a lot to maintain a real coral. So, to make it look good, keep the water clear, things like that, we don't have to worry about pH balance and light and things like that. So it is fake coral, but it looks pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with it. So hopefully you guys think it's very realistic and good. Coral itself is a plant, an animal, and a mineral. How many of you knew that? It's pretty exciting. It starts as an animal called a polyp. You've probably heard of that before. And it has a plant tissue inside the animal. And then as it settles, it becomes sort of covered with like a limestone. So that's how the structure is created. It's a very vague way of saying it, but that's how it's created. And coral needs a lot of light. It's something like 98% of the nutrition that coral gets is from algae, and algae needs a lot of light. So for coral to survive really well, it needs to be in a place where there is not very much sediment in the water. So it's nice and clear, so you can get a lot of sunlight coming through so that it can survive. Right, now let's talk about the star of the show, Snorkel, our turtle. Now, she is a loggerhead turtle. Loggerheads get their name from having a very large head. If you look at her, she's got quite a chunky neck going on, so maybe her head is not quite as big as her body, but I think that would look even more strange. Anyway, Snorkel, she was rescued from a beach on Cornwall somewhere. I think it's Sennen Cove, I think that was where they picked her up in about 1990. So she's been here for quite a while. Unfortunately, she was swept up on the beach with a group of other loggerhead turtles, and she was not healthy enough to be able to release back into the wild. This is quite common that the turtles are washed up on the beaches, and hopefully they are all healthy enough to put them back. But Snorkel, unfortunately, she has a few problems. Now, you may see her bouncing around against the rocks and swimming into things because she doesn't walk. And she has a few problems. She's blind in her left eye. She's partially sighted in her right eye. She has some buoyancy problems, which may be quite due to the fact that her shell is somewhat sort of deformed, basically. If you look at her, she's got a kind of a saddled shape to her shell. Now, that's not the shape it should be. It should be a lot more rounded. She's also got quite a lot of scarring and things like that. And unfortunately, to make everything worse, she's got epilepsy. So we have to look after her, give her some dog epilepsy medicine so she stays nice and healthy. Now, you can see all the fish